What's up, guys? We are back for another NECA Predator review, taking a look at the final Predator from the recent subline of AVP arcade figures. We're taking a look today at the Warrior Predator. We've got him here in the same kind of box we've seen with the other figures. So we've got the big window box, logo, product shot down on the bottom, and then we've got the product shot on the back, along with the rest of the line in a character select screen video game style lineup. So very nice presentation, you know, NECA style, the kind of stuff NECA does to make the packaging look fantastic. So through and through this line, that's going to be a big hallmark for these figures. Now, for this figure in particular, I do want to give a quick shout out to Ascending Collectibles, because that's where I got my figures from. They got them pretty early, so I jumped on them and got the set. And this guy, however, came with some missing pieces. I honestly didn't even notice until I got him out of the box that he had the thigh pads on him were missing. So I reached out to Ascending Collectibles and they were able to send me a replacement within 2 days, almost no questions asked really. There was a problem and they took care of it. So check them out. I will put a link down below to their store. You'll find all the same kind of stuff that I review here on that website for you to purchase if you're interested. So let's do it. Let's crack this guy out and take a look. Alright guys, here he is out of the package, our Arcade Warrior Predator. And this guy is kind of interesting to look at after having reviewed the others in the line. So he's very stylistically the same as the Hunter, but in terms of structure and actual composition, he is almost the same figure as the Mad Predator. So it's kind of an interesting way that they've kind of blended these figures to make this line work. We'll do a lineup to give you an idea of what they look like compared to each other as well. But let's start with Articulation and see what he can do. I'm sure you're not going to be surprised if you've seen any of the other videos so far. So the head can look up, he can look down, you can rotate side to side, you've got a little bobble. The plasma caster is going to get in the way, we know that now. It's pretty standard though. You know, use it, don't use it, but it's going to hinder articulation if it's there. Arms can go out, we can rotate at the shoulder, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. We have got rotation at the gauntlet, rotation at the wrist, and then there are hinges. We have got an upper diaphragm, a little forward and back, side to side, and rotation. And then we've got the waist swivel, so it's a double ball peg down in there. We've got legs that go out, they kick forward, they kick back, thigh cuts, double jointed knees, and then we have got the telltale ball jointed ankles at the feet here, so rock side to side, back and forth for hinge, and then of course you can rotate them down there. So these guys use all that new ultimate style articulation without being ultimate in name, and they're all basically the same. So if you've seen one, you've seen them all. Now, as far as the overall look and feel, I think this guy, the Warrior, looks a little more video game-esque than the Hunter Predator does, just based on the armor and the paint job that they've used here. So the body is very similar with that cream color skin. He's got the brown highlights, the kind of airbrushed look about him. But the armor is very, very cel-shaded in appearance. You can see, you know, on the chest piece, on the plasma caster, on the thigh pads, on the ankles, on the shin guards, even on the back, there's a lot of different shades of dark grays, light grays, almost white colors, and it very much looks like something that came out of the 16-bit console generation. So this guy is kind of the poster child, I think, for this line. He looks more to me like a video game adaptation than the others. It doesn't make him any better or worse in any capacity. I just think it's a little more obvious on this one. And I think NECA's done a fantastic job with the paint on this guy. As far as the sculpt goes, it's exactly the same figure as the Mad Predator. Everything from the neck down is the same. The only difference is that this guy doesn't have the necklace that the Mad Predator has, but that's a separate piece. Otherwise, it's the same stuff. You've the same kind of shin pads. You've got the gauntlet here. You've got the tubes. So this is, you know, the Ahab style body that we've seen recently. So watch out for the tubes when you're moving the arms, especially the left arm anyway. We've got the same plasma caster here, which is again articulated, so up and down, and then you can rotate it a little bit. And it's a separate piece, so you could consider it an accessory if you want. And we've got the double-bladed gauntlet over here on his right arm with those really stark white blades there. So those very much look, you know, video game arcade-esque type of artwork. So he is that same kind of figure. I think it works really well. It's different enough in terms of color scheme that it's hard to notice sometimes. And then when you get him next to the Hunter, you can see that they're very, very different, but still very, very similar at the same time with their skin tones. While this guy may be very similar to the Mad Predator from the neck down, from the neck up, he is unique in this line. He has got what I believe is a jungle hunter mask. So it's similar to the hunter predator a little bit. They're just different enough that you can definitely tell when you get them next to each other. And if you're familiar enough with predators, you'll know right away, I'm sure. The key giveaway is it's got the little notch in the back, so you can see the predator head sticking out there. But I really do like this mask. It's kind of a classic predator mask. I think the paint job on it though is very, very much the standout quality. It's a really good indicator of the cell shade video game style artwork that they've been going for, and I think it works incredibly well. You've got variants of grays, a slight silver on the dome up top, and then some dark grays back there, so it works really well. And then of course we've got the Telltale Predator dreadlocks, black with some gray accents. So yeah, it's another quality head sculpt, and it works really, really well to make this guy similar enough to the hunter, but also unique on his own. Now for accessories, the Warrior Predator has 3 because we might as well just count the plasma caster. You don't have to use it, but you can, and I always do. So we've got that. We've already talked about it. It's the same one that we saw with the Mad Predator. Great paint scheme on it. I think it's fantastic. But he has got some quintessential Predator stuff, and then something that is not really, but it's very video game-esque. So we've got a combi stick here. So we got the staff, brown, reds, tans, kind of cream colors. So you can get this guy to hold it. He holds it better in his left hand just because it's a slightly more open grip, and it's honestly a really, really thick staff. But this is a very quintessential Predator thing. Very big, very imposing. Good weapon to have. And then we have got this big guy. So this is, one of the kind of colonial marine style of big assault rifles. The stuff that you would see in Aliens that the Marines have when they go bug hunting. So the ones that they kind of strap to themselves. So you can get him to hold this, kind of put it in his right hand, and then have him hold onto it with his left hand. And it surprisingly works really well. I was really concerned that he might not be able to hold this too well at first, but you can get him into some pretty solid poses. And it is very much another one of those things about this figure that looks like it jumped right out of the video game because of how they applied the paints. And there is a lot of paint on this guy, front to back, side to side. It's pretty well covered in that gray paint to make it look cell shaded. So this is a winning accessory. I think if I'm going to have him displayed with anything, it's probably always going to be this guy. And like I mentioned, here is a quick lineup of the 3 Predators next to each other. So you can see what I mean when I say that there is definitely some serious parts reuse between these two, which is not a bad thing in any means. It's just something to point out. They are, for all intents and purposes, identical from the neck down, and then of course they all have unique head sculpts. I do think that this guy definitely looks less video game-esque now that I have all of them lined up with each other. It's mostly on the skin and the flesh with the Hunter Predator, and the other two share a lot more of that cell-shaded kind of look with their armor. But at the end of the day, I mean, they look amazing together, and you can just get a nice small contained unit of Predators, and that's always a nice thing to have, is a complete set of something small that is very specific. So there you go. There's a quick rundown of how they look next to each other, just to give you an idea that yes, there is some parts reuse here, but I am absolutely okay with it. So at the end of the day, this is another winner for me. I dig just about everything about this figure, really. There's nothing to complain about, especially since I have a fixed version this time. So thankfully, I was able to get a hold of a better figure to do an actual review on without complaining about missing parts, so that's always good. But as far as the figure itself goes, just grab it. I mean, if you're even remotely interested in these, you just got to get them. You won't be disappointed. Great paint apps, excellent sculpt, fun accessories, and they just make a great set. And when we get the aliens and then we get the humans, it's going to be a fantastic small contained set that is basically complete, which is always fun to get. So if I had to rank these, I'd say Mad Predator gets the first. It's just too cool. And then this one, and then the Hunter. It's a very, very close race, though, so don't take that to mean one is exceptional and one is not good, because they're all absolutely fantastic figures, and I would recommend anyone who's even remotely interested to snatch them up. So that's going to do it for this look at the NECA Toys Arcade Warrior Predator. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.